everybody, it's been a while since my unboxing video of the Wacom Cintiq Pro 13. In this video I'm going to be doing a full review. I'll go through the pros and cons which I've experienced and whether I feel it suits my workflow or not. First off, the performance of the Pro Pen 2 is amazing. I do wish the pen itself was thinner like my high pen for the Chuai tablet, but the actual lines the Pro Pen 2 produces is amazing. Even so, I will mention here, I personally haven't had any experience with the Pro Pen 1, but a lot of people who have the Pro Pen 1 and 2 have claimed they don't notice much difference, and that's because the Pro Pen 1 has, well, it has a fair amount of pressure anyway. The Pro Pen 2 claims to come with 4 times more pen pressure than Pro Pen 1, but in reality, it doesn't show up. Wacom have designed a nice pen holder which looks lovely sitting on my desk. It also holds the extra nibs, which is quite a handy feature. Now let's touch on the design of the actual display. It's very slim and has a minimalistic look with black bezel around the active screen. However, when I pay £900 for a graphics display, I like to think that it will have a lot of functions and make my workflow faster as well as looking aesthetically pleasing. But for some bizarre reason, Wacom have removed the shortcut buttons which was on the 13HD and 16HD models, which means you now need to purchase the Express Key remote in order to be able to access any form of shortkey. The problem with that is it requires a USB dongle to work with it, and in addition to that, the remote is wider than the bezel of the display, so I couldn't find a place for it to sit without covering part of the active screen. The wide width also means holding in small hands can make it uncomfortable to press the buttons. It really is a shame Wacom removed the built-in shortcuts. It's something they are well known for, and I totally understand the display looks fantastic as a flat screen with no beveled plastic buttons. But surely they could have incorporated them as touch buttons that light up when the display is powered, like they did with the 4 touch buttons in the top corner. The missing shortcuts feel like a downgrade from the 13HD. The matte screen feels nice and smooth to touch. My hand glides across the screen when drawing, nice and smooth. The specifications claim it is FHD with 87% Adobe RGB colour. My Chuai tablet is also FHD, and when compared with my MacBook Pro, the colour reproduction is similar. However, when comparing the Cintiq Pro, the Chuai's colour reproduction is much better. The old 13HD claimed to be 75% Adobe RGB. So it's really only a 12% upgrade, meaning in reality a Cintiq Pro 13 and Cintiq 13 HD side by side would look similar in terms of colours. However, an important improvement I noticed was that the Pro Pen 2 didn't make any light scratches on the display when drawing, which was a problem Wacom had in some previous models. A major improvement that has been seen in the Cintiq Pro and the Mobile Studio range is that there is virtually no parallax, meaning the cursor sits directly under the nib of the Pro Pen 2. This is quite an important improvement as it's a problem that they've had in pretty much all their previous models. Devices such as the iPad Pro and the Chuai High 12 virtually have no parallax either. It seemed like Wacom were a little behind until now. I absolutely love the Kickstand feature which Wacom have incorporated into the back of the Cintiq Pro. It's at a perfect angle for drawing on and I felt very comfortable with it. The SD card feature will be handy for those who don't have an SD card slot in the computer or laptop they've connected the Cintiq Pro to. However, I usually like to use the slot available on my MacBook Pro. Since I do a lot of video editing and stuff, I like to keep my SD card directly in my MacBook Pro. The headphone port is quite useful when I've placed my MacBook Pro far away and I want to listen to music while drawing, or maybe I even want to watch YouTube while I'm taking a break from drawing. But believe me, the experience of watching videos is much better on MacBook Pro's 4K screen. One of the biggest disappointments for me was how so not portable it was. It came with literally meters and meters of cable. Only very recent computers can take advantage of a single USB-C connection, whereas most users like myself will be stuck needing an adapter and 2 extra cables. It means the Cintiq Pro has to be set up on a desk and left there. If you plan on moving around with it, you'll find yourself constantly tidying cables up every time you sit down to draw and when packing up. This is a huge nuisance for me because I only have one desk in a very small home, which I need for my sewing, traditional artwork, and now I have to share it with my Cintiq Pro. When the Cintiq Pro was announced, the description page mentioned a wireless adapter of some sorts. However, closer to release date, Wacom removed this off their website. I'm unsure if they will ever release a wireless option, and if so, when. Considering much of the working world has moved into a work-on-the-go mode, a portable graphics display would have justified the price tag on the Cintiq Pro. Right now, the only real upgrades the Cintiq Pro has from the 13 HD model is the more accurate parallax of the screen and the fact that it's touchscreen. Even though Pro Pen 2 boasts to have 4 times more pressure sensitivity, in real world use it's barely noticeable. And the whole 12% increase in the Adobe RBG is also barely noticeable. On top of that, no shortcut buttons on the Cintiq Pro is a major downgrade for me compared to the 13 HD model. Which leads me to question myself, is it worth saving £300 and sticking to the old 13 HD? In fact, I can also save another £100 on top of that, because I won't need the Wacom Express Keys remote, giving a total saving of £400 in the UK. For many of us, it's a lot of money. To conclude this review, I feel Wacom haven't put much thought into the Cintiq Pro. It may have a modern design, but the features are very old school. The modern world needs portability, which the Cintiq Pro still lacks, and it needs to be strapped to a desk. And it seems a lot of complaints are pouring in with Cintiq Pro not connecting to some computers. I had my own problems. Every time I used the Express Key remote, the Pro Pen 2 would stop working after a few minutes, and the only way to get it to work again is to restart my MacBook Pro. It made it impossible to get any work done. And after having no reply from Wacom on a solution for over 3 weeks, I've decided to open a return case with Amazon, and at the time of uploading this video, my Cintiq Pro is already halfway back to Amazon. Which means I'll be going back to my trusty old Chuai High 12 for the meantime with my artwork until I can afford a Mobile Studio Pro, or I'm also hoping that Chuai High 12, which is due for release soon, will have a better pressure level pen than the High 12 has. It's a shame that the Cintiq Pro didn't live up to my expectations, but unfortunately the biggest decision maker was the fact that the Wacom Express Key didn't work with it, and without the short keys I just felt it wasn't worth the price at all. That's it for this review. I hope it was informative for you all. Thanks for watching, bye!